Let's look at how Patanjali describes as an 8-step Ashtanga Yoga program, the way he's explained it. And he starts with describing what yoga is in his second sutra. Essentially, he says yoga is chitta vritti nirodha. And chitta you can consider it to be mind or mind-body personality complex. Vrittis are all the modifications in this personality. And if you reduce those modifications, the disturbances, the fluctuations, that is when you achieve states of yoga. And then he goes on into his next sutra, which is the third sutra, and says, Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. So once you remove those modifications, the seer then gets established in his true self, in his own self. So it's essentially chitta vritti nirodha, and in those stable, clear forms, you see your true self. This is what yoga is. So, for example, an analogy is used consistently. You see a clear pond, and there's a lot of life in that pond. On the bed of that pond, you see fishes, you see corals, you see rocks, you see so many beautiful, colorful things. But you can see only if the surface of the pond is clean and clear and still. You throw a stone or you throw some dirt into that pond, then the picture underneath gets completely changed. You can't see the true picture. It gets colored. So this is essentially how we see our true self, or we see the reality. Because there are so many fluctuations, so many modifications in our mind, through our senses, our perspective gets colored. But once these disturbances are all eliminated and we achieve that settled, still states, then the clarity and the reality of life comes through. This is essentially what yoga is. And then in his less than 200 sutras, he goes on to explain that 8-step method to achieve those still, stable states where you can see reality in itself. These 8 steps are, the first step is yamas. These essentially are don'ts. For example, it starts with ahimsa. Don't be violent. Practice non-violence. This is the first thing he says. Then he says satya, which is be honest. Then don't be greedy. Don't be promiscuous. These are some don'ts that he explains. Then the second step is niyamas. These are do's, some practices that you can do. Be clean, be contented. Practice tapas, which is essentially some austerity, some self-restraint, and so on. So these are some do's that he prescribes. So if you bring some of these do's and reduce the don'ts, you achieve a little that mental conduct, you achieve that mental state to get into good asana practices, the practices of physical postures. And this is the third step. Here he says the asanas essentially are the steady, stable postures. So you will not achieve that stability and that comfortable postures if your mind is disturbed and you have not brought in a good model conduct to the table. Then the fourth step, when you perform or when you are able to be stable in those physical postures, when your body is in that sense comfortable and stable, you get into practices of regulating your breath. That is the practice of pranayama. Here, your breath gets regulated, it gets subtle, and that is the first step of your mind becoming more and more stable. So there is a body stability, then there is a mental stability that you achieve. Then the fifth step is when you practice stepping a little beyond your sense perceptions. And this is the practice of pratyahara. So that is why we are taught, when we get into meditative practices, to be in a quiet place where we are away from noise. We close our eyes, practice, that mauन, or we don't talk much. These are practices to get out of all the sense distractions that we are constantly engaged in. So that is the fifth step. These 5 steps are what is called as Bahiranga Yoga. It can also be called as Bahiranga Yoga. So this essentially we are by nature, by inertia, external. So we control that external and then move to the 6th, 7th, 8th steps, which is Antaranga Yoga, which is now we get inwardly. The 6th step is Dharana. So Patanjali describes Dharana to be a state where we narrow our area of concentration. So in practice, how we do it is we can choose an anchor. It can be breathing, or it could be a mantra, or it could be a light, it could be sound, it could be any of these things. And we try to bring all our focus and attention and concentration to that narrow area. So that is that constant practice of sitting and trying to concentrate in that narrow area of breathing or sound or any of the object is dharana. But in this state, you would see your concentration is not continuous. It's not highly focused. There are a lot of opportunities to get distracted. But if we continue in this practice, we can move to more focused, highly narrowed down, and where your concentration impulses are continuous with very little distractions. That is when you move to dhyana. That is a state of meditation. So that is the 7th step. So this is almost like there's an analogy of water flowing from a tap. In dharana, it's almost like that water which is not continuous, as opposed to a better state, which is the dhyana state, which is the meditative state, where there's oil flowing from the tap. When oil flows from the tap, it's very narrow, very sharp, and very focused. The area of focus is absolutely concentrated, almost pinpoint, you could say. Once you achieve those higher states of dhyana, the meditation, where you're fully concentrated, fully focused on that object, then you can get into more totally absorption states of samadhi. And these are the highest states of achieving stillness in that whole mind-body complex. So the entire 8-step program is constructed to take you step by step towards these high states of achieving the chitta vritti nirodha. So once you arrive at those samadhi states, then your clarity increases and you will see reality for its own sake. You will see your true self. Then all the illusions, all the ignorance and the wrong perceptions, they all fall away. So this essentially is what is yoga as described by Patanjali. And it's a very short book. Anybody can read it. Some parts, of course, are complex. But while you read more and more, you'll gain that understanding. And having that understanding, you go through practice of yoga. It will make your practice far more effective. And you will see real changes in yourself. So thank you very much. Hope this was helpful.